I see that come up and I'm like, oh, it's time to go.
So, these days, I live pretty close to a river.
Avoid the lots of mosquitoes and monkey feet.
True. I live close to the Virgin River, but when I was a kid, I lived next to a creek. A little river, a tiny river.
What about
Sometimes we call them creeks. Sometimes we call them cricks. But it was a little, and the creek water, it was cold. Even in the hottest summer of St. Louis, it was cold water coming down that hill. Yep, and the creek had rocks in it. And some of them were little rocks. And some of them were big enough for people to sit on, right? And some of them were just the right size for feet. And while all these rocks came in many different sizes, there's really only two kinds of rocks in a creek. The kind that are under the water and the kind that are above the water that you can step on. So we had lots of fun stepping on the rocks and trying not to step in to that cold water or fall into the cold water. And I can tell you both ways it happened. Yeah. And sometimes it was good because you cooled off a little bit, but you were supposed to step on the rocks to get across the creek to go someplace else. So I could almost hear those rocks saying, hey, come over here, step on me, step on me. See, I'm a good rock. I am dry. I don't have any slippery moss on me. I'm a good rock for you to step on. So I know rocks don't talk, right? But I could just imagine if they could, that that's what they would say to me. Yeah. So I thought about these rocks in the creek, or the creek, when I was reading one of our Bible stories for today, which is in the book of 1 Peter. And in this story, we hear kind of one of those weird sayings that we come across once in a while. St. Peter calls us to be living stones. It doesn't seem quite right. We know the stones are not living, right? But he calls us to be stone. Well, stone is another word for what?
frozen.
Rock. Rock.
Or frozen
Exactly.
like.
So, like living, they're rocks. So we use the rocks for many things, okay? We can build bridges, or houses, or roads.
I have an idea. Maybe we can just like roll across the pond and see if they
Oh, there you
skip across it.
They're how we get from one place to the other. They are what holds us up. So that gives us an idea of how we can be living stones. So when St. Peter calls us to be living stones, we're being called to live in a certain way that help people to move forward, to get where they're going, to get from one place to another, and to do it in a fun way. So we're to be helpful, stepping stones that others can firmly and safely and joyfully live their lives. So today, I brought rocks. Now these are not skipping rocks.
Aww.
They are not throwing rocks.
Aww.
It's all right. Not unless you're way, 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 way outside and not next to anything glass. So you can take a rock quickly.
And sure.
Any certain one will be go ahead, everybody. That will remind you that you are to be a living stone and to help others to live joyfully. So let's all pray together. Dear Lord, thank you for fun games like block hopping. Thank you for calling me to be a living stone me to help others. Live their lives safely and joyfully. Amen. So every time you look at that rock this week, remember that you're to help others to live safely and joyfully. See you next week.